Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, excuse my background, I'm sitting on the floor because the rest of my room is a mess. Anyway, so today's video is going to be basically my run through on how I got my visa for Canada. So like I said in my last video, a few people were asking me, and since then I put up that video, a lot more people were saying yeah, definitely do it, like it's interesting to know, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna get into it now. So basically I've just written down all the information kind of that I did, tips I have from like obviously going through it. I just know like it wasn't stressful at the time, but moving here because of the pandemic was really stressful, and there was like loads of stuff that really helped me out. Yeah, I'm gonna jump straight into it now. So I've just got it all on my phone here. Okay, so basically the visa I'm on is called the IEC visa. So it's a two-year work and holiday visa basically, so you can work and you can travel on it. Yeah, so IEC stands for International Experience Canada. So yeah, you can work and you can travel, and yeah, you've got 2 years. So basically to apply for the visa you have to first of all make it's called a GC key on the CAC website. So once you make that, then that's your account basically. And I know it's like a pool system. Basically they go in sections of whenever you're allowed to apply. I think you're allowed to apply at any stage, but the pools aren't open all year round. They're only open for certain periods or certain months. So Connor was looking into it a lot more than me at the time, and he was like, okay, the pool's open, we should apply now. So I was like, okay, like, oh, no bother, we'll chance it. So yeah, from here we entered the pool, so we like made our account and everything on the 13th of January 2020, so last year. So that was basically just, I think it's just your basic information. There's not much else you need. And then so basically once you enter the pool, then you have to wait on an invite, and then your invite is for your invite to apply. So that's not like your visa or anything, you're just invited to apply, and then you have to do the application process and wait to see if you're successful. So then we were in, well, I was, again, me and Connor had to apply separately because two different people obviously, so our dates might be like slightly different, but it was more or less the same. So I got invited to apply on the 20th of January, so what, like 7 days later, a week later, which was happy days. I think you only have like a certain amount of time from applying to pay for it. Like you kind of have to do it rapidly, you can't just, oh, I was invited to apply and then leave it. So once we were invited to apply, then the only thing we needed at the time to provide that we didn't have on us, like basic information, was our Garda cert, whatever. And that had to be done by a superintendent, and there was none in Moville. I don't think so. Well, whatever it was anyway, we had to go to Buncrana. So we went to Buncrana to get that done on the 21st, so the day after, because we were like really on the ball and wanted to kind of get it done so we weren't wasting time. So you basically go to the Garda station, you fill out a form in front of them, I'm pretty sure. I think you have to bring your passport. Yeah, so you bring your passport. Oh, you have to write down as well like any previous address, so like your current address and then your any other address you ever lived in. So obviously it'll tell you then, and then you just fill it all out with the superintendent. He stamps it and everything in front of you. Then he will like process that and send it out, so you have to wait for that back in the post then. But that didn't take too long. We were like, obviously it was only like a couple of days before we got it in the post then, and it was basically just our Garda cert that says we've like, I think it just says we've never had not a criminal record, but you know what I mean, like we've never did anything. So that was fine. That was, yeah, the 21st was when we done that, and then we left it then and waited for it out. Yeah, so from that then you have to pay for the fee of the visa, and once you pay then you're issued a date to get your biometrics done, which is your fingerprints and your picture, pretty sure. So we paid for it on the 31st of January, so 10 days after that, and it cost 338 Canadian dollars for the visa, and at the minute like the current exchange rate, that is €220 for your visa. So that's how much it cost. So we paid for that on the 31st. Then we got issued, or actually I don't think it's you got issued a date, you just have to make an appointment, but you have to complete your biometrics within 30 days of paying for the fee. So you have to get that done as well in Dublin. I'm pretty sure that's the only one, well, it was the closest one to us anyway, so we had to go to Dublin to get our biometrics done. Yeah, so we made an appointment. I think like whatever time it was, we landed a lot earlier, and they were like fine about it. They were like, yeah, no problem, come on in and get it done, so like your fingerprints and everything. And that was it. So basically our biometrics then on the 4th of February. So we did them, they submit them on their part, and I think we had to submit them as well. And yeah, so once that's done, you basically just have to wait. Now I know people waiting like a lot longer, a lot less. Connor got his like 2 or 3 days after. Like that's crazy. I've never heard of anybody getting it that fast. I received mine on the 13th, so it was just over a week later. Again, I've like crazy. I didn't think we were ever going to get approved that fast. So we were approved then in February, which was great. Like we were like happy days that you basically you receive your POE, which is your port of entry letter. Yeah, so that's basically what you give to the immigration officer at the border, and then they issue your visa once you land here. So yeah, we received that on the 13th, which was great. And then because we were issued on the 13th, you have exactly a year from that date to enter the country. I know I said in my last video I thought it was the 31st of January, but no, it was the 13th of February. So yeah, we're still more or less the same, but yeah, so you have exactly a year. Now all the information obviously I'm giving now was before COVID. So I know at the minute I'm pretty sure the pools are closed and they're not actually processing anybody's application. So if you applied to even like you just applied to enter the pool, I'm pretty sure your application is cancelled and you have to apply again, like when they reopen, which they haven't done that yet. And the likes of like biometrics and stuff, I don't even know if that's still being processed at the minute. But yeah, so the whole thing about you have a year to enter, you can apply for an extension now because of COVID, and I'm pretty sure they were like or just processing everybody. So they weren't they were just saying like kind of processing it that like COVID and you couldn't travel because of COVID. So I think they were given, if you applied for an extension, you got 3 months further from your date, so you've got an extra 3 months to enter. I know a lot of people like as well had to get a second extension, but again it's just kind of, it just depends, to be honest. We went for it to be like, we were at a good time though. Like if our port of entry was up like in the middle of last year, I feel like it would be very shitty. So yeah, I can't actually complain about that. So yeah, that was grand. So we were obviously approved. We booked our flights for July, which didn't go ahead because of COVID. We rebooked for September, which didn't go ahead because of COVID, and then we rebooked for January, and we were like, right, we're going no matter what. So with again with COVID, you needed to have a job offer, which normally you don't on the regular, like normal times. You didn't have to have a job, which was like, would have been nice because you can just like kind of come over, find your bearings, like where you want to live before you kind of get a job. But it doesn't always work out as easy as that. So we had to get a job, which was grand. It works out well for us now. So yeah, basically, so I'm working as a nanny, like I said as well in my last video. I got my job offer, I think in November. I was offered the job and I was like all delighted, like everything was falling into place. And then I was actually getting my hair done. It was the, what was it, the 16th of December, so like last month, like a few months ago. The 16th of December I was getting my hair done, and I was chatting away and I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna be a nanny, blah blah blah. And then we were talking about it as if like, do I need to have any qualifications to be a nanny? So I texted a girl I know that's out here doing that, and I was like, do I have to be qualified? Because I'd be afraid like then if I got to the border and they just turned me away, like, do you know what I mean, I would die. And she was like, oh, you have to have a medical exam done. And I was like, what? Oh, I didn't know about it, right? Like, but in fairness, it was really stupid on my part. I should have known about it, but I didn't. yeah, I had to get a medical, and I was like, oh my god, this was the 16th of December. I was meant to be leaving on the 7th of January. I was like, oh, how am I going to get this done? Because my application was already processed, I didn't even think I could get it done, because you have to, if you need a medical, you have to submit the medical whenever you're submitting like your Garda cert and everything. So I was like, oh my god, stressing out. So I remember like leaving the hairdresser's, ringing, or well, then the girl who told me about the medical, she says the only place that does it that's registered with the visa company is the private Mater Hospital in Dublin. So rang them. Now keep in mind, this is the week before Christmas. I was like panicking, like, oh my god, the week before Christmas. I was working flat out as well, so I was like, I just didn't know if I was going to be able to get it done. So I rang them and I was like, explain my case, and she was like, we've only got one appointment left between now and when you're leaving, and it's on the 18th, so it's 2 days away. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. So that was great. I was like, oh, you know, I don't even, like, it's fine, I'll take it and I'll sort everything else out. So basically the medical consisted of, I had to get my bloods taken. Yeah, you had to get bloods done, a urine sample, like a basic talk with the doctor about like previous medical history, and then like a physical check of basically just like your heart, your lung, do you know what I mean, like feet, like basic, just a basic check, like really basic, and it was €365. The only reason I needed it is because I'm working with kids. I could have got it done in a normal doctor's surgery for free, but no, it has to be like of course registered with the visa. So yeah, she was like, that, like it all went fine, like it went smooth enough. When my medical was finished, she had a receipt and she was like, oh, you have to provide this at the border because you haven't got the medical before your visa was issued. And I was like, yeah, no problem. She goes, it can take 30 days to process on their side. I was like, well, I'm leaving in less than 30 days. And I was like, oh my god, imagine I land, because like we have to go through immigration over here. So I was like, imagine I land to Toronto and they're like, no, go back home. I would have been like, no, not going back there. But I so got the medical done, that was fine. Got it issued, or got my receipt and everything, and then coming up to leaving, COVID started getting really bad again after Christmas, and me and Connor just knew that there would be further restrictions on travel, so we were like, right, we booked the first flight out, which was New Year's Eve, so we left like a week before we were meant to. Another flight booked. But yeah, it worked out fine. We got the flight, everything went 100%, like it couldn't have went better. There's no issue with my medical, it was all in the system. He issued out both of our visas, which was great. But yeah, went 100%, like stress free. I was stressing about it for ages, but it went fine. So yeah, another thing people were asking was more about what I needed at the border. So basically when you arrive in Canada, like I said, you go to immigration, they ask for all your documents. So the documents that we needed was the POE, like I said, the port of entry letter. That's what you're issued when your visa is approved, so you have to give that to them. Our job offer letter, and that had to include that we were starting work 2 weeks after our arrival, at least because of our quarantine. We had to have proof of funds, so you have to have at least 2,500 Canadian dollars. Yes, you have to have a bank statement basically. You have to have travel insurance for 2 years, because if you don't, if your travel insurance is less than 2 years, that's all your visa will be issued for. But it's kind of hit or miss if they check that or not, which because they didn't check ours, but we had it anyway. We had to have an isolation plan, which basically meant how we were going to plan to get food, get medicine, everything without leaving the house, which we had. And then I had to have my medical receipt, like I said, which was fine. And everything went great, so that was basically it. We're just happy to be here now and happy that that kind of part of it's over. Yeah, so basically a few questions people were asking me was to go through an agency or to not go through an agency. So basically you can do the visa yourself, which we done, or you can go through not a travel agent, I don't know what they're called. Is it like USIT? I'm pretty sure USIT do it anyway. So basically you pay them, they do it for you, like they do all the nitty gritty. Personally, I think do it yourself. Like, we were told it was going to be like really while hard to do it yourself, like a lot of information, but we were kind of like, at the time, no, we want to save up as much as we can, so it was a cheaper option, and it was fine, like really really fine. You don't need that much, do you know what I mean? You just need basic information about yourself. Go to the guards to get your Garda cert, which doesn't take a lot, all that. So yeah, definitely do it yourself. Like I says, $338, which was €220. That's all it cost. That included your biometrics fee, and that's all. And I know going through an agency, I'm pretty sure it can cost up to €1,000. Like, so definitely do it yourself. There's so many people that you can reach out and ask help for, because I definitely did it. Yeah, so definitely do it yourself, don't go through an agency. Another tip I would have is that there's a few pages on Facebook that are great. So there's the Irish and New in Toronto, obviously because I'm in Toronto. There is an actual IEC page for the type of visa I'm on, which was really great coming up to us leaving. Like, we got a lot of information from that. And then so I'm in them two, and then I'm also in like an Irish Girls Toronto page, which is good as well. But yeah, a lot of information on there, a lot of people in the same boat, which is good. So that's another thing, definitely get into all the Facebook groups. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, there is. So as well, your passport. So your passport expiry date has to be greater than your 2 years visa. So again, for example, if I like landed in Toronto like New Year's Eve and my passport was out of date in like August this year, my visa would only be issued for those 6 months. They wouldn't be issued for the 2 years, because your passport expires before then. So I obviously knew that, and my passport was set to expire when we would have been here, so I just applied for another one. Obviously that's very easy to do, but do that obviously before you start your application. And yeah, pretty much it. Basically, yeah, I'd say that's actually everything to do with the visa. There was no nothing else, because I went back on all my emails and like stuff from between getting the visa, like getting the invite, the biometrics, the everything. Like, I went back on it all just to double check, and I think that's the main points. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I know this video isn't going to be for everybody, because not everybody wants to come to Canada, but it's always kind of going to be on my channel if anybody ever did want to watch it and wanted to get the information. So yeah, thanks for watching anyway, and if you've any other like questions that I haven't answered, you can always just shoot me a message and I will get back to you on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.